Okay, so now that our test is working, let's go take a look at how we can create the actual element connection. So in Data Miner Cube, first thing we need to do, I still have it open here, is open the element connections. So it's possible that the surveyor of one of the other items is open. So first we'll click the apps item and then element connections. Another alternative is probably to do it through the search and just go element connections with space probably. Yes, and then I can also open the element connections. Okay, so let's take a look in Ranorex Studio. If there's anything we can use here. So I'll close the existing recording and now we'll start working and create element connection. And opening the element connection, I will add to a setup part. Open element connections. Let's do a search. There's already in the apps here a group to open element connections. It's together there with open resources, open automation. So I'm guessing that should work. And then let's see. So once our element connections is open, we have an overview of our elements here. And the first thing we want to do is open up this this collapsed list of parameters for destination element. Okay, so let's go and take a look. I'll try and track this with Ranorex Spy. Okay. So from Spy, I click track and I just going to check if it works by also clicking the text here. It may not. Let's try again without tracking. Okay, so clicking the text is also opening the list. I don't need to explicitly click the chevron. Okay, let's look in so text, and then there's a button called element connections overview. So that's in the automation ID here. That's good. It's called element connections overview tree element item. So this is indeed an element item. So the name's very logical, and then within that we have the text with the name of our element. Let's see what else we have in a tree here. So we have a cart container, cart element connections. So that's the cart for our app. That's also one we're interested in. It's also identifiable by automation ID. And we have grid app wrapper, nothing of particular interest for the automation here. And then element connections panel might be an interesting one. And then we have the tab pages. So if we look within our element connections here, we have configure tab and an overview tab. And if we take a look, it's the tab page has an automation ID element connections underscore configure tab. So those should all be really easy to use. And then here we have the tree view items. If I make SPY a little bit smaller here, so we can see we have a couple that are shown in SPY as invisible and a couple visible. It's probably because I did the tracking before opening the element dropdown. Okay. Let's see how we can put this in the repository first. Okay, so I'll add a new recording. I'll also, in fact, I'll add this one because probably it will be reusable for other tests. So I'll add this one in Data Miner Cube library, and following the structure there, we have recording modules, apps, and then I don't have a folder yet for element connections. I can't create it from this dialog, so I'll have to go into my project browser here to apps, create a new folder. So from the add menu, new folder, element connections. Okay, and from this I'll add a new item. I'll call it create element connection. Okay, I'll just create the recording, and it's immediately opening. I'll also immediately drag it into my test. So in create element connection test case. Okay, so what do I need to do? I first need to, so the first step was clicking the button here. So first I'll check in my library if we have anything that's useful already. So in my cube workspace, card container, have my apps, and there's no folder yet, or no rooted folder yet for the element connections, so I'll start off by creating that one. As you can see here, Ranorex is not sorting these by default, so I'll just drag it to an alphabetic position because that's easier to read when you're searching for something. And then I need to identify this card. So take a look in SPY at my card. Where's my card here? Card element connections. Okay, so I'll just copy this over and add the wildcards, the same as the other ones. Okay, so we have our element connections folder, and then we've already assigned it a path. Then let's take a closer look within our element connections. What are we interested in? We're interested in the tab page because we'll be switching between tab pages possibly later. So I'll add a new item, rooted folder, and it was the configure tab page. And I'll once again copy the identifier from Ranorex SPY. Okay, let's see if I can get away with a double slash here for performance. So I'll hit edit in SPY. It's going to open up a new SPY instance. And it doesn't find anything. Okay, looks good all the way. Okay, let's close. Close the existing SPY for now. Still have my cube open. Okay, let's try again. Okay, I'll just copy the full path and open that one in the standalone SPY. Sometimes the tracking is failing if you've opened up the application under test after Cube or after Ranorex Studio was opened. Okay, so take a look here. Searching, found it in 3.8 seconds. Let's see if we have much did there from the double slash. Yeah, it's considerable. So let's see if it's a lot of work to improve. So we're from our cards and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 levels in between. Let's see if we replace them by question marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and add one extra for robustness and check it out. 800 milliseconds. Okay, let's keep that one. And I'll paste it here. Okay, and then we can continue with our tracking. And within our configure tab, we are interested in this button here. Let's track it again. Okay, I think I can cancel. So I'm interested in the button and the text. I'll copy these. I can create these as an item because it doesn't really have any further children that I'm interested in. Okay, so use the double slash to find the button. And so this is destination element button. Okay, then for our next step is the parameter. So this might be a little bit more difficult because we have a complete list with parameters. So let's see how this one goes. I'll track the remote saved number. Okay, let's not wait for that to load. So I have an F3 view item and I have here an element with automation ID element connections tree item. So that's an interesting one. And then within this tree item, I have I can just right click and expand all. Okay, just click yes on the warning. And then I can see here that I have the text. Then I have a hidden combo box. So the instance is not available because we're using a single parameter here, but the combo box is there but not visible. So for cases like these, we'll have to add a visible attribute later on to make sure it's visible. Okay, and then we have, let's move over to the other side. We have the link image, and then combo box to configure the destination element or the linked element. Also with element destination combo box. Okay, and then further down we have the linked parameter configuration combo box. Okay, so all of these are accessible. Again, the linked instance, which is available but not visible, and then the checkbox to include the element state. Okay, so first thing we need to do is identify this tree item, and then I want to go into the children. But in order to identify that, to identify this one, I actually need the text that is on an item below it. So I'll first navigate to the text, and what I'll do then is I'll use the ancestor axis. So / ancestor, is that correct? You can do control space, and then Ranorex Spy will give you some suggestions. It's a bit like IntelliSense in Visual Studio. Okay, I want to go to an ancestor. I add a double colon, and this was an element with that automation ID. That might already be in here. Yes, okay, so I'll just copy it over and put it in there. Okay, let's maximize so I can copy the whole thing. Still a few that I'm not really interested in here, so let's see what we can clean up. I want the elements. I don't want those containers in between. So I want the tree item, then parameter name, content, the text, and because I've been clicking here, it's removed my ancestor. Okay, so I'll just copy this one. Okay, put it into data miner or into Ranorex Studio. I'll create another rooted folder, and so this is a parameter. Okay, oh, that's not a very good name. I'll update it in a minute. Parameter tree item would be more adequate. Okay, and now in my parameter tree item, I can add several items. So first is text for the name. And then we had several other things. The text from the name I can copy from here. Okay, still need to add the ancestor. Okay. So ancestor. Not sure if the. So I think here in Ranorex Studio the suggestion is working a bit faster, so I can say ancestor, and then I want that to be the tree item. Okay. Go back to the end, the tree item. Okay, use the home button to go back to the front, and I'll add a double slash there. And now let's try and edit and spy. See how all this works. Didn't find it. Okay, let's just copy, paste it in the standalone spy. Typically this can be fixed by restarting Ranorex Studio, but I'm not gonna take the time to do that right now. You can also copy the entire path here from the absolute base path. So you just click in it, Ctrl-A, Ctrl-C. And let's try again using the spy. Okay, and now it's found within 4 seconds. So I made some kind of mistake in copying the path here. Okay, that's quite acceptable for an item that's in a list, so I'll keep this. And then we have our tree item, and in there we have multiple other items. Let's track again. Okay, so we have this combo box. Okay. And I'll just add all of the items. I'll just add all of the items in here immediately because I'll need them later on. Okay, so first one is the index combo box. Next is the element combo box. Oh no, the link image. I don't plan to use that one yet, so I'll skip it. Combo box. And then the destination parameter, or the linked parameter, combo box. Ooh, am I missing one here? A parameter destination. Yeah. Okay, and in fact, for all of these, I'll also need to add a double slash at the front. So in this case, the double slashes should not cause too much overhead in search time, because it's the header is, or the parent item is already limiting the search to a parameter tree item. So that's just one line of the table there. Then we still have the instance combo box. To assign this one. Okay. And then the last one is the element states checkbox. Okay, and the ID for the element state checkbox. In the worst case, if these wouldn't have automation IDs, it might have been possible to use the indexes here, because those are locations within that tree item, so those are not so much subject to change. This index, for example, is just the row in the list, and that one you should never use because it's very much subject to change. Okay, let's get our checkbox in. Okay, and then we should be good to go. So to create our element connection, I'll already save this. First thing we'll do is click our destination element button. Then we don't really need to validate our name here. At this point, I'll select something from the element combo box. We're on a single parameter here, so no need to set indexes or instances. So I'll click that one. Let's see what happens after that. So basically, I'll first set up my structure. So I'll click the combo box. I'll do the selection in the combo box later on. Then I'll click the parameter combo box and do selection in the parameter combo box. And then I need to save. I still need to track my save buttons. Let's see. Save button. That's it. Okay. So I have here within my element connections cards a button panel, and that button panel contains 2 buttons. Okay, let's add these. It's not in the tab page, it's just general in the app. So, oh, no, not the right place for that. button panel. Okay, and in the button panel we have 2 items. One was the save button. And I can probably, let's see if this will work. Yeah, I can drag. Can I? No. Yeah, too bad. Okay, so I'll just copy the parts. Okay, gonna double slash it. And then the other one was the export button. Just copy and type here. This one was called button export. Okay, so that's all of our buttons. And we want to save after creating. Okay, mouse. And now what we need to do is go and dig into those context menus. So I'll track again. I'll push and hold F12 to temporarily disable tracking. Okay, from my element drop down, so first thing I'll do is click it. I'll also hold down F12 while doing so, and then typically we would have none, so I'll first set it to our starting situation. Okay, I click the drop down. The easiest way to automate it will be by using the filter. So I'll click the filter here. And if we take a look, so we have our context menu, and then we have some text called text box view. Do you have any other? Okay, so the part filter text box is probably a more interesting one, and is also covered by an automation ID. So I'll use that one. Let's see if it already exists. Filter box. Filter box in page content. Not interested in that one. Table parameters. Nope. Let's immediately move down to the context menu. So context menu, and it's called filter box combo box here, but the ID is the same, so I'll use that one. Okay, mouse. So we click the filter box, then we want to click, no, first we want to type our element name. So I'll add a key sequence, and I'll add the element name as a variable again, just like we did for the validation. Okay, don't need an item on the key sequence. And then we need to click. Let's go back into data miner. So I say here Rx element source. Sorry, source element. Okay, takes some short interval to find it, and then it's shown in the list. So I want to track this one. Going back to Ranorex Spy, using F12 to disable while typing. Okay, and there's my source element. I want to click this one. So it's basically, let's take a look. It's got a very high index there. It's in the filter control. And then it's just a text with the name. Let's see if we have something similar. We have generic text item, generic list item with text. Let's see. This one's indeed a list item. So I'll use that one. The list item with text. And we'll click this one. Okay, and oh, I've put it in the wrong location. So that's for the element. And then basically after clicking the parameter combo box, we want to do the same. So I'll just copy these two by holding Control and dragging. No, that's moving them. Okay. Okay. The dragging's not working. I'll just Control C, select the next, Control V. Okay. And then again, we need to go and configure our element names. This one here, I'll change. We don't want to select an element name here, but I want a new variable that is the linked parameter name. Okay, save this one. You have 3 inbound variables.